Hello, Patriots. This is the last video that I would care to be doing right before we go into the Christmas holidays. Tomorrow being Christmas Eve and the following being Christmas Day. But it's something that's really bothering me, and I'm sure it's bothering many Americans out there. Not just Americans, but people all over the world for that matter. Because it keeps happening, and it's happening in amounts that are just sickening. What am I talking about? There are many things that really get under the skin of most of us. But I believe one of the top 5 would be women that lie about sexual assault and rape. For any woman that is sexually assaulted or raped, it is a devastating event that will stay with them for the rest of their lives. I know some of them. I wish that on no one. But when you lie about it for whatever reason, you're taking away from those that have actually been a victim of these crimes. Same thing with racism, claiming that someone did something towards you that's racist. Sadly, these fake reports have happened so often that every time a woman comes forward with these charges, it makes others wonder whether or not there's any truth behind it. And it's just not sexual assaults and rapes. It's those that go out of their way to make up stories to ruin another person's life. Whether it's rape or abuse or assault, racist assaults, hate crimes. We see this playing out in full color on our news. And a lot of it in Washington, D.C., with members of Congress and, of course, Donald J. Trump. Here's the problem with not all, but many of these cases. These women don't come forward for years. And in many cases, they have no evidence, no video, no pictures, no medical reports, no witnesses whatsoever. Nothing but her word against his. Look at the Elizabeth Jean Carroll case, for instance. She claimed on June 21st of 2019 in a published article in New York that Donald Trump had sexually assaulted her in late 1995, or was it 1996? She couldn't even remember the year. She claimed she ran into Trump in a department store and he asked for help buying a gift for a woman. After suggesting a handbag or a hat, the two reportedly moved on to the lingerie section and joked about the other trying some on. Carroll said they ended up in a dressing room together, the door of which was shut, and Trump forcefully kissed her, pulling down her tights and raping her with his penis before she was able to escape. She stated that the incident lasted less than 3 minutes. Carroll initially chose not to call the police or report the sexual assault or rape. And even today, she describes it as a fight. She had no witnesses, no video of them ever even walking into the burned off Goldman department store. Plainly put, she had no evidence at all. So much so that the original crime, the criminal case that she filed against Trump, was tossed out by the judge for having no evidence. So Trump did what anyone would do if accused of such a horrible crime. He spoke out against her allegations. She then filed a civil suit against him, still with zero evidence. And 12 Trump derangement syndrome jurors found him guilty of assault. To be found guilty of anything in a court of law, there must be evidence that proves it. She had none. simply her word against his. But this time, in the civil suit, she chose to use defamation of character and slander angle. Boy, did she. Yes, one could say Trump slandered her name big time, considering the circumstances, but I don't blame him one bit. And neither does the 80 million plus that voted for him. One thing we all know for a fact, Trump does not go out in public alone. He has had a security detail with him for many, many years, way before coming to Washington, D.C. In fact, his security details date back to when he was first in business. And we've had many other cases. Crystal Magnum, the exotic dancer who once accused 3 Duke University lacrosse players of raping her, has now admitted that she invented the 2006 allegations that set off a combustible national conversation about gender, race, and class. She is now in prison serving time for second-degree murder, and she made up the story that wasn't true against one-time defendants David Evans, Colin Fentnery, and Reagan Sigelman, who didn't deserve that. In 2017, Breonna Rachel Harmon ran into a church half naked and covered in blood looking for help, allegedly being raped by 3 masked black men. The hospital examination determined she had no injuries consistent with sexual assault. Authorities also couldn't confirm her allegations or hunt down anyone who matched her description of the 3 black men. Eventually, they discovered the abduction and rape and injuries were all staged. After the cases were closed, prosecutors slammed Harmon with 2 felonies for the hoax, and she was sentenced to probation. In 2020, Amy Cooper called the police on a black bird watcher, her name is Christian Cooper, in Central Park, after he asked her to leash her dog who was roaming around freely. In response, she threw an explosive tantrum, which he caught on video. The woman called the police and began screaming and throwing a fit, challenging Christian was harming her from a 10-foot distance in which he was standing. She was dubbed Central Park Karen by the internet and was hit with charges of false reporting and was terminated from her job. In 2009, Quinn Gray went missing in Florida. When she was found 3 days later, police say she claimed to have been abducted by a man who demanded money for her, pay debt owed by her husband. A car shop owner was arrested for the abduction. However, the man claimed that Gray faked her own kidnapping because the 2 of them were actually having an affair when she went missing. She didn't want her husband to know about it. Gray was arrested less than a week after the man's statement and pleaded no contest and charged with threats of extortion. She was sentenced in 2011 to 7 years probation. See a pattern here of probation? In 2016, Sherry Pivney went missing for 3 weeks. She was found running off into a California interstate and being picked up by a passing driver who reported her as having wounds, bruises, and bindings all over her body. She claimed she was abducted by 2 Hispanic women. However, she admitted the entire abduction was a lie after sending the entire nation to a multi-state search to find her and reunite her for children and her husband. She was sentenced to 18 months in federal prison for staging the kidnapping and lying to the FBI about what happened. In 2020, Maya Ponsetto accused a black teen of stealing her cell phone in a hotel lobby. Thankfully, there was a hotel video, and on video, she is seen yelling at him repeatedly and even putting her hands on him to grab him. Police found out later that he did not steal her phone. She left it in an Uber. She denied the racism allegations and assuming the one black person in sight was a thief. However, she ended up pleading guilty to a hate crime charge in addition to child endangerment, attempted assault, attempted robbery, and grand larceny. In 2020, Eleanor Williams was sent to jail after lying about being raped and trafficked by a gang of Asian men. She posted images to Facebook on various bruises, a black eye, and partially severe severed finger, claiming her injuries were from a group of Palestinian business owners. Authorities found Williams had 6 cell phones used to make fake dating profiles and found she lied about her classmates being groomed and sexually assaulted with her. Prior to the scandal, she was also charged with making 3 false rape claims, and she was sentenced to 8 years in prison for the Facebook-born hoax. Bottom line, if you're physically assaulted, raped, or any crime has been done to you, call the police. Dial 911. Make a report. But don't wait 10, 20, 30 years and then lie about it. Anyone who hurts another should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Make no misunderstanding about that. But if there is zero proof you are the victim of a crime, then move on with your life instead of trying to ruin others. And in 2019, even members of the LGBT community are guilty of these. The biggest one being a gay actor by the name of Jussie Smollett, who invented a hate crime hoax. He said he was assaulted, beaten, a noose placed around his neck, all done, he said, by 3 white racists wearing MAGA hats and yelling racist slurs at him. And we all know how that case turned out. He made it all up and then got a slap on the wrist by the DA. And the amount of women claiming sexual abuse, assault, or rape against members of Congress and our Trump newly selected members of his upcoming administration is truly astounding, to say the least. We have seen these allegations made against judges trying to get on the Supreme Court several times. Now, I am in no way saying that if a woman comes forward, she shouldn't be believed. But I am saying there comes a point where you have to draw a line. And it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. If you're claiming that 15, 20, 30 years ago, someone did X, Y, and Z to you, and you have zero evidence or proof that this ever took place, move on. Stop trying to destroy lives, as we're watching play out right now all across America on Fox, on CNN, on MSNBC, ABC, CBS, NBC. All the news agencies are covering supposedly things that people that Trump wants to put into positions, accusing them of crimes, and they never reported it until now. This takes away, whether it's accusations of sexual assault or rape or racist hate crime, it takes away from those that truly are victims of these crimes. It's disgusting. It's sad. It's anti-American. And it's sickening. And you need help. So remember, the next time anyone comes forward with claims of something that happened to them, take it with a grain of salt. I'm not saying don't believe them, but I am saying have the evidence and the proof that it happened. Otherwise, so many people have come forward and claimed this stuff that the rest of us are going to immediately think that you're making this up. And that is not the way it should be working. As always, please say a prayer for our men and women serving the United States military, our veterans, our law enforcement officers, our first responders, their families, our angel families, our blue and gold star families, and our country. May God bless the United States of America, and may God bless each and every one of you. Join me on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Central for the live Douglas Ducote Show. Goes out live on YouTube, Rumble, X, formerly Twitter, and LinkedIn. Hope you tune in. Hope you will become part of the movement that we are running forward with as we go into the next 4 years. Thank you. God bless you. And hope you all have a wonderful and happy time this holiday, this Christmas holiday, and Merry Christmas to each and every one of you.